This is Ruffin Hunt with Hunt Law, and today we're going to be covering the crime of leaving the scene of an accident in Florida. Under Florida law, the driver of any vehicle involved in a crash resulting only in damage to a vehicle or other property which is driven or attended by any person shall immediately stop such vehicle at the scene of such crash or as close thereto as possible, and shall forthwith return to, and in every event shall remain at, the scene of the crash, until he or she has fulfilled the requirements of Florida law. Those requirements are as follows. The driver of any vehicle involved in a crash resulting in injury to or death of any person or damage to any vehicle or other property, which is driven or attended by any person, shall give his or her name, address, and the registration number of the vehicle he or she is driving, and shall upon request, and if available, exhibit his or her license or permit to drive to any person injured in such crash or to the driver or occupant of a person attending any vehicle or other property damaged in the crash, and shall give such information and, upon request, exhibit such license or permit to any police officer at the scene of the crash or who is investigating the crash, and shall render to any person injured in the crash reasonable assistance, including the carrying or the making of arrangements for the carrying of such person to a physician, surgeon, or hospital for medical or surgical treatment if it is apparent that treatment is necessary, or if such carrying is requested by the injured person. Leaving the scene of a crash involving property damage is a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 60 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Leaving the scene of a crash involving injury to a person is a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. Leaving the scene of a crash involving serious bodily injury is a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000. Leaving the scene of a crash involving death is a first-degree felony, punishable by up to 30 years in prison. This offense also carries a 4-year minimum mandatory prison sentence. If you've been charged with leaving the scene of a crash in the Tampa Bay area, call Hunt Law at 813-787-4849 for a free case consultation.